Hello everybody, it's Mel. Thank you for joining me today and Shade as I recommend books to other booktubers. So yes, I do have a cat on my lap. I don't know how well you can see her, but she is here, so excuse any purring that you hear and, just general catness. Anyhow, so this is a video series that I have been doing on my channel for a few years now. This is the 13th episode of its kind that I have done. Sorry, it's a lot of cat hair here now. It is where I pick a few different booktubers and I recommend books to those people. Now, having said that, please feel free, if you would like to be a recipient of a book recommendation from me, please feel free to comment below and ask, and I will do that for you. You do not have to be a booktuber. You can just enjoy books. So just pop a comment. If you're not a booktuber, then please link your Instagram or let me know whereabouts it is that I can go for recommendations, whether it be Goodreads, Instagram, what have you, so that I can get an idea of the types of books that you like. But if you're a booktuber, then it's that much easier. But again, like I said, please feel free, if you're not a booktuber or you are, anyone can request a recommendation. If you don't have any socials but you still want to request one, then my Discord is always linked down below, so you can always jump in there and send me a request and give me a list of books that you really love so that I can, get an idea of the kinds of things that you like so I can recommend books to you. But anyhow, yes, the idea here is that I recommend books to other book lovers. Often they are booktubers, but like I said, they do not have to be. Feel free, if you have featured in one of these recommendations videos previously, feel free to request another recommendation because I'm more than happy to do a repeat. In fact, that's what I'm going to be doing today. So, normally I do, unless asked, find new people to recommend books to, but today I'm actually going to be recommending books to some booktubers who I have already included in a previous video. Because I've been doing this for quite a few years now, I feel like I have potentially reached out to other booktubers, to different people have found me, etc., and they may not have been aware that I had previously recommended a book to them. So I thought that I would do another one and include some people who I haven't included in a video of this nature for quite some time. I hope that makes sense. So I think I have 8 people on this list. All of their channels will be linked down below, so please go and subscribe to them. They're all booktubers who I absolutely love, and yeah, I just think they're amazing, so I think you should definitely go and subscribe. There are a lot of amazing booktubers out there. This is not an exhaustive list by any means, so if you are not on this list, please don't think that means I don't think you're amazing, because I probably do if we know of each other, if I'm subscribed to you, and I'm happy to find more people, so please comment below again if I don't know you and you want to say hello. But anyway, let's just get into this because I could keep going around in this little circle forever. So let's just actually do the recommendations. They are all listed on my computer here, so I'll be looking over and down. Okay, so the first person that I'm going to be recommending a book to today is Gavin from Gavin Reads It All. So today, Gavin, I am going to recommend to you that you read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. Now, the reason that I'm recommending this book to you, I've recently noticed that you have been reading quite a few of the kind of satirical science fiction and fantasy books and really enjoying them. So obviously I know that you have been really enjoying the Dungeon Crawler Carl books. I myself, as you probably know, I myself read the first Dungeon Crawler Carl because of a video that I made, which was the Gavin Made Me Read It video. So that's a different series of videos on my channel. I will link all these things down below as well, by the way, where I pick another booktuber and I read books that I was inspired to read because of them. And one of those books was the first Dungeon Crawler Carl. Sorry about the bird out the window. The Dungeon Crawler Carl book. And I remember reading that book and thinking that it reminded me quite a bit of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And then also you've been getting into Terry Pratchett, and from what I can tell, quite enjoying it. Maybe not absolutely loving it, although I think that will come. But I know you've been enjoying them and finding them quite funny and quite clever. And I do think that The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy will appeal to the same thing that those book series, Dungeon Crawler Carl and Terry Pratchett, the Discord series, have been appealing to. The same sort of sense of humour, and the things that you like in those books you will like in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series. And I think it's very clever as well, in the same sort of vein as Terry Pratchett. So that is my recommendation to you, Gavin, that you read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And by that I actually mean the trilogy in 5 parts. The next person on my list is Winn from Literary Diversions. So Winn, the book that I'm recommending to you is The Deep by Kyle Perry. So this is an Australian mystery. It is set here in Tasmania. I don't recall if there was a specific murder. There is definitely a bunch of different things going on, quite a lot of illegal activity. There are missing people that turn back up again a number of years later. There's a mystery surrounding a family and a missing child. And potential murder, but I don't really recall. It's one of these books that kind of go backwards and forwards in time, swap between different family members, but it's all woven really, really well. I know that you have really enjoyed Jane Harper, specifically at least the first Aaron Falk's book, The Dry, and I know that you do seem to enjoy an Australian mystery. So for this reason, I'm recommending The Deep by Kyle Perry. I really, really enjoyed it. I found it really well written. I enjoyed all the different twists and turns. I felt like even though I guessed a few different things that were going on or anticipated some of the different twists, I didn't anticipate all of them. And it doesn't ever feel like it's just twist after twist for the sake of it. It feels like it's done intentionally and done really well. So I think that you will enjoy it. Certainly I feel like if you enjoy this kind of, I don't know, is Australian mystery a genre in and of itself? But this kind of mystery, like The Dry, those sorts of books, I think that you will really enjoy this one. So that is why I'm recommending The Deep by Kyle Perry to you, Winn. The next person on my list is Victoria from What Victoria Read. I've actually recommended a couple of different books to Victoria in these videos. The first time just because I wanted to, and then at least one other time, potentially I feel like maybe even 2 other times. Correct me if I'm wrong, Victoria. But Victoria did request at least one other recommendation. Anyhow, the book that I'm recommending to you today, Victoria, is The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow. Now, the reason I'm recommending this book to you is because, well, I think that you will enjoy it. It is a fantasy book, but I know that you have recently started getting into, well, I say recently, over the last couple of years have been getting into fantasy, and you're picking up more and more fantastical and greater in scale. But I do think that this is still one that you would really, really enjoy, because I feel like, okay, so here's the thing. We did this as part of an in real life book club that I was running a few years ago, and myself and my mum are massive fantasy readers. As you know, I'm a huge fantasy reader and read lots of different types of fantasy, cozy, epic, grimdark, all of that sort of thing. However, my friend Michelle and my friend Jill, neither of those people read a lot of fantasy. Michelle basically doesn't read fantasy at all. I don't think Jill reads a lot of fantasy. She might pick up the occasional, but she's more of a historical fiction reader. And Michelle is more of a contemporary romance and historical fiction and crime reader. She's basically anything but sci-fi and fantasy. However, everybody in the book club really, really enjoyed this one. Everyone got something out of it. The big fantasy readers and also the non-fantasy readers, they all enjoyed it. They all found it really approachable, really readable, really enjoyable. They thought it was well written. Yeah, everyone really liked it. So I think it appeals to different readers of fantasy for different reasons, and I think therefore that you would really enjoy it. Like I said, I know that you've been getting into more fantasy and maybe not sticking so much to cozy, although I do know that is a preference for you. But I feel like The 10,000 Doors of January is quite cozy, but it has a bit of an epic feel as well. It is a portal fantasy as well, so it ticks a lot of different boxes, but I think that you'd enjoy it. I think you'd enjoy the scope. I think you'd enjoy the character of January, and yeah, I think you'd have a good time. So that is why I am recommending to you, Victoria, The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow. The next person that I'm going to be recommending a book to today is Paige from Pages with Paige. So I'm actually recommending another Alex E. Harrow book to you, Paige. I have actually only just started reading it myself, but The Everlasting has come out last year sometime, and I started reading it a few weeks ago, and I'm slow going, to be honest, but that's not to do with the book, that's to do with circumstances. But I'm really enjoying it. I think that it is really well written. I love Alex E. Harrow's writing style. I think she's an amazing author. I love the way she weaves her plots together. I love the way that she writes characters, and I just think that she has a really great way with words. Her tone is really well done, and I've always enjoyed every single book of hers that I have read, and I do think this is one that you would really, really enjoy. So for that reason, Paige, I am recommending to you The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow. The next person that I'm recommending a book to today is Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany. So I have a suggestion for you that is probably a little bit outside of what you might expect me to suggest that you read, because today I'm going to be recommending Middlesex by Jeffrey Eugenides. Now, the reason that I'm recommending this is because I was looking through Goodreads and compare our books, and I noticed that you gave The Goldfinch and also The Secret History quite high ratings on Goodreads, both of those books by Donna Tartt. Now, Middlesex by Jeffrey Eugenides, when I read that, made me think quite a lot of The Goldfinch. Not so much The Secret History, a little bit maybe in terms of writing style, but definitely much more The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. They made me, they felt quite similar in style, I guess, and in tone. The actual storyline is really quite different, but I think that if you enjoyed the style of writing and the tone with which it was written, then I think that you would enjoy Middlesex by Jeffrey Eugenides. We are following a person who is born hermaphrodite and following their kind of figuring out what actual physical sex and how they wish to be and how their gender fits in with that. I thought it was really well written. I don't believe that it is written by, I don't believe that the person that Jeffrey Eugenides was writing from an own voice's viewpoint. I don't think it's an experience that they've had. So I'm not sure how anyone who has experienced anything like that or any kind of body dysmorphia would feel about it. That's something that, you know, obviously you might want to look into, but I personally thought it was quite interesting, and I think that you would enjoy it and think it was quite interesting as well. Next person that I would like to recommend a book to today is Chloe from Chloe Reads Books. And today I am recommending to you, Chloe, The Killing Code by Ellie Marnie. Now, this is another Australian crime writer. However, this is quite different from the one that I recommended to Winn, in that it is actually, this particular book is actually about spies. It is following a group of women in the United States who were code breakers during the Second World War. But there is a couple of murders that happen on the kind of campus that they are living and working on. It's ignored by the police, essentially, and they decide to take it on, and they think, well, we are spy breakers, so we could be murder solvers. And I just think that it was really, really well done. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I really enjoy Ellie Marnie's writing style. I really enjoy the way she writes characters. I think she's a very strong plot writer, so I think that those are things that you enjoy as well. I know that you haven't necessarily been reading as much crime recently, but I do know that you do enjoy a good mystery, a good crime book, and I do think that you would really, really enjoy this one. So that is why, Chloe, I am recommending to you that you pick up The Killing Code by Ellie Marnie. The next person that I would like to recommend a book to is Jean from Jean's Thoughts. So Jean, today I'm going to be recommending to you that you pick up The Hymn to Dionysus by Natasha Pulley. The main reason that I'm suggesting to you that you read this book is because I read this book in the same year as I read your book, The Lady of the Lake, and there were some similarities, I felt like. I mean, first of all, they're both mythology retellings. The Hymn to Dionysus, as the name suggests, is a retelling of the myth of Dionysus. I thought it was incredibly well done. In fact, it was my favourite book of last year. And there were a lot of things about your book and about this book that I felt were comparative in terms of not just what it was about, but in terms of the style and the your style and the way that you wrote the book. And I do think that you would enjoy this one because I know that you do enjoy, well, I assume because you have written a retelling, but I know that you've also spoken about various different retellings, Greek mythology in particular, in various YouTube videos, and so I do think that you would enjoy this one. Like I said, I thought it was fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Natasha Pulley's writing style. I thought she got to the crux of the god Dionysus and the myths surrounding him and the Maenads and all of the craziness that comes along with Dionysus. So yeah, I do think that you'd really enjoy it, and that is why I'm recommending to you, Jean, that you read The Hymn to Dionysus by Natasha Pulley. And then the final person that I would like to recommend a book to today is Kaz from Cats and Camera. So Kaz, the book that I am going to recommend to you, I'm actually going to recommend 3 books to you because they are graphic novels, and those books are the Stand Still, Stay Silent series of graphic novels. Like I said, there are 3 volumes. It was a webtoon comic initially, and then they were put into 3 hardback volumes, which my partner purchased and loved, and I read them and really enjoyed them as well. I don't know whether or not this story has continued on webtoons. I haven't looked myself, and my partner hasn't told me, but certainly you can pick up at least the first 3 volumes. Not sure if there's any further. But anyway, these are dystopian stories. This is a dystopian story, I should say. We follow a group of younger people, sort of people in their late teens, early 20s, who are traveling into, it's set in Scandinavia, and they're traveling into kind of the wastelands, I guess, of, I'm not sure if it's Norway or, anyway, somewhere in Scandinavia, to see what's going on and if things have changed out in the wastelands, because we are post an apocalypse, we're post a pandemic that obliterated most of the known world, and it's only, as far as these people know, it's only pockets of Scandinavia that are free of this illness, and it has had huge ramifications for life on Earth. So they're travelling out to see if it's still ravaging the land and what's going on. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really well done. The art style is gorgeous, and I do think it's something that you would really, really enjoy. So that is why I am recommending to you, Kaz, that you pick up at least the first, if not all 3, potentially more, volumes of Stand Still, Stay Silent by Mina Sundberg. So yeah, that's it. Those are the books that I'm recommending to all of these incredible booktubers. Please, like I said, go and subscribe to all their channels. They are linked down below. If you would like to have a book recommended to you by me, then please do comment down below and let me know. Either link Instagram or Goodreads, or let me know some books that you enjoy so that I can give you an appropriate recommendation, and I will feature you and the book I recommend for you in a future video. But these are all some people who I've recommended books to before, but I would like to give a new recommendation to those people. But anyway, that's everything that I wanted to talk to you about today. So yeah, if you'd like to leave me a comment, but you don't know what, then leave me some kind of heart emoji of any colour, because I feel like I'm spreading some bookish love by doing these recommendations. But yeah, like I said, that's everything from me today. So thank you so much for joining me. I really, really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.